the sports, they don't really care, in my opinion. I feel betrayed, and I felt that some people that don't want me here, not only this year, but last year too.
Significant breaking news. Cristiano Ronaldo is to leave Manchester United by mutual agreement with immediate effect.
When Cristiano Ronaldo rejoined Manchester United in the summer of 2021, it felt like a fairy tale. After almost joining rival City, Sir Alex Ferguson convinced him to rejoin the club where he first rose to fame. The fans were ecstatic. Despite being 36 years old at the time, the Portuguese superstar had just come off of a season where he scored 36 goals for Juventus and another 4 for Portugal in the Euros. Ronaldo was fighting Father Time like he had a personal problem with him, showing no signs of slowing down. He immediately scored twice in his return to Old Trafford and remained United's top scorer for the 2021-22 season, with 24 goals, including 6 in the Champions League. The man was 37 years old at the time the season had come to an end. To put this into perspective, here's a chart of some of the greatest goal scorers of all time still playing in a top 5 competition at the age of 37. Most players at that age were either retired, playing in a small league, or just a shell of their former selves. And there, all the way up top, is Ronaldo's 24 goals in the 2021-22 season, still scoring at ease in the best league in the world. He ended the season as Manchester United's top scorer and showed the world that he could still produce at the highest level. For Manchester United as a club, however, it was a completely different story. They ended the season in 6th place, missing out on a Champions League spot for next year. Reports about a toxic work environment, bad mentality and a lack of motivation all emerged throughout the season, highlighting a deeper issue with the club culture, as they had had 3 different managers only during the 21-22 season. However, the real problems for Ronaldo would start next year. After another disappointing season, Manchester United signed Erik ten Hag from Ajax as their new manager, bringing a new philosophy. Ten Hag's United started the Premier League season horribly though, losing their first 2 games against Brighton and Brentford. Then, with a matchup against old rivals Liverpool coming up, Ten Hag made the shocking decision to bench Ronaldo for that game. Devastating for a superstar like him, even more so because Man U ended up winning that game without him in the starting 11. And the next one as well. And the one after that. And also the one after that against Arsenal. The first game United would lose again was their European fixture against Real Sociedad, which was also the first game Ronaldo was back in the starting 11. You could say that Erik ten Hag had found a system and a philosophy that worked for Man U as a club. It just didn't involve Ronaldo anymore, although him still being a great player. This is where the first cracks between Ronaldo and the Red Devils would start to show. The Portuguese striker spent more time on the bench and his discontent with the club and the manager kept growing. This became public on October 19th during a 2-0 win against Tottenham. He refused to come on as a substitute and even left before the final whistle. Ronaldo got a short suspension from the club and sorta half apologized, but the tension continued to rise, until it reached a boiling point. While Man U as a club was doing well, Ronaldo had had enough. In November of 2022, he had a now infamous interview with Piers Morgan. Ronaldo said, among other things, that he feels betrayed by Manchester United and that he doesn't have respect for Erik ten Hag. He also lashed out towards the owners of the club and club heroes and former teammates Wayne Rooney and Gary Neville, who had recently criticized him. #RonaldoOut started trending on Twitter and the situation became unsustainable. There was only one outcome.
News, big football news breaking during the last hour or so. Manchester United and Ronaldo have agreed to terminate his contract. He's no longer a Manchester United player.
On November 22nd, United announced that Ronaldo would be leaving the club by mutual agreement. Ronaldo's second stint at United had come to an end, and he was a free agent going into the World Cup in Qatar. Expectations were high for the Portuguese national team going into the tournament, but it ended in tragedy when they lost to a dark horse Moroccan team in the quarter-finals. Ronaldo's individual performance was also a bit disappointing, only scoring 1 penalty in the first game and not finding the net thereafter. He was benched after the group stage and Benfica striker Gonzalo Ramos started in the round of 16 against Switzerland and the quarterfinals against Morocco, while Cristiano Ronaldo had to come off the bench. When the Premier League resumed on December 26th, it was still unclear where he would end up going. However, 4 days later, the 5-time Ballon d'Or winner signed a whopping $200 million a year contract with Saudi club Nassr, making him the highest paid football player in the world. While it's not unusual for an older player to choose money, it's strange to see one of the best players in history play for a club that most people hadn't even heard of before he joined. Unfortunately for Ronaldo and his legacy, that's not where the story ends. Manchester United have improved significantly since his departure. The Red Devils look like a completely different team now, with Marcus Rashford playing the best football of his career after the World Cup, scoring 10 goals in 10 Premier League games at the time of recording this video. United has gained more points than any other team in the Premier League since Ronaldo left, only narrowly losing against league leaders Arsenal. They even beat rivals Man City for the first time in almost 2 years. Some fans are quietly hoping for a Premier League title, which would be the first one since 2013. Of course, it's not fair to attribute all of United's success just to Ronaldo leaving, but it must be painful for him to see his former club doing so well after he left, especially given the way that he departed. It is kinda like getting into a big fight with your girlfriend, causing a massive scene, the two of you breaking up and then seeing her do better right away. This recent success combined with the turbulent way that he left has led some fans to suggest that he was part of the problems United were having at the beginning of this season and throughout last season. It's gotta hurt for Ronaldo to return to the club that he loved and broke through at, only to get into a very public fight with the club, leave mid-season and see them improve the minute he left. It is still uncertain what the future holds for Ronaldo, but the way things ended at Man U has gotta be a small stain on his amazing footballing career. He's currently playing for Al Nassr, but his coach has already said that he thinks Ronaldo will return to Europe to finish his career. A move to Saudi-owned Newcastle could be a possibility in the future. It would be interesting to see how the fans respond when Ronaldo returns to Old Trafford one more time after everything that happened. Will they still welcome him as a hero, or has the recent past tarnished his legacy at Manchester United forever?